Hello, welcome to Blaine's Escape Corner, our little corner of the internet where we get together and talk about the things that help us escape. It's in the title, it's a corner. I'm Blaine. How are we doing tonight? Look at all this. All right. It is let me center. There we go. It's weird because it's not central for my desk, but it feels central for the camera. And I just have to live with it. Hail, Michael. Hail. You spider-loving, cat-hating creature. Today we are having some haiku because haiku, sorry, not haiku. Haiku, like the poem. Because I found it in the back of the fridge. I was like, oh man, I still haven't been to Uojimaya, and I need more sake. So I will get to Uojimaya, and I will get more sake from the beautiful island shop. For now, I will have to do with my haiku. Kanpai, everyone. All right. Alrighty then. What are we talking about today? Boo-dee-dee-doo-dee-doo-doo-doo-doo. Boo! I'll just tweet it up. Put it on locals first, cause it's locals first around here. Locals in the description. Boo-doo-doo-doo. Oh my goodness. All right. Let's talk about the most important news of the day. I don't care if this isn't from today. I don't care if it's from last week. I don't care when this came out. I finally saw the trailer for the Netflix rendition of Bastard. We are talking medieval, dark, heavy metal fantasy. That's all we want. We want it to be big, muscly dudes swinging swords against equally muscly dudes and dudettes who all look like they would fit better at an LA beach than in actual traditional historical society. And it looks like it. And the song is freaking pumping. Oh my goodness. And then they pair it up with stand before the gates of hell. It's so freaking good. It sounds, because it's an actual, they're all English words. It sounds like one of those classic anime for kids openings, or Toonami openings where they chain and they make their own song and music for the opening. Drag it, fight the dragon, Ball Z. We're getting one of those, but now it's standing at the gates of hell. Oh, it's so good. So good. Hey up, Pop. How are you doing? Oh man. I am stoked. I mean, it's a minute. But at the minute that I saw, it's the new Bastard trailer. Dennis, Netflix dropped it. Freaking good. It's freaking amazing. I tweeted it. It needs everything that I want it to be. This trailer feels like it is. It feels like it is. You've got giant ripped dude who's naked swinging a sword through a bunch of skeleton knights, just taking them on. Then he's at like Rodin's gates of hell are opening up, and it's standing at the gates of hell, Ma! So freaking good. Oh my good. Oh my good. That's how good it is. It's so good. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. We've got. Oh, it looks good. You watched it and teased Brandon about it because he doesn't have Netflix. Well, to clarify, he doesn't pay for Netflix. And to further clarify, I mean, neither do I. Does anybody pay for Netflix? Don't we all just share the same password at this point? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It again, it looks great. It looks fantastic. It feels like Leiden Films is trying to like make up for the crap that they did with the 2016 Berserk. It feels like they're like, well, we've got a second chance at a good high fantasy that's got like muscly dudes and stuff. So like maybe maybe we go with it. Oh, it's gonna be my wife pays for Netflix. Mm, mm. Your beard's not nearly gray enough, so I think you're safe. I think you'll be okay. Oh my goodness. Oh, what are we? That I mean, I watched that trailer like an hour ago, so like I'm still like pumped, and it's just like a minute 30 or whatever. I'm just like, yeah, and I was like, I'm not gonna play it because the second I play it, I'm gonna get freaking either Netflix or the band, one of the two is gonna be like, that's our song. You can't show this video in any countries now. Like, no. I just want to comment on it because there's so many scenes I could pause on and say how good this show is going to be, but you're going to block me from being able to put it up, and then it's going to be a problem. Oh, those people. Oh, those people who think they need to fight everything in order to make sure that life goes on for them, when life will find a way. It always does, and it always will. Boom. Since we have Michael here popping in at the very beginning, and we kind of talked about it a little bit when we first watched the episode, but I was going to the article that I wanted to talk about today when I ran into this one. Couple of cuckoos. What Erica's cosplay hobby reveals about her. Erica loves more than frilly outfits and Instagram filters. She also likes to cosplay, and it actually says a lot about her personality and worldview. Bye, boy! Our boy is back, and he's got something to say, and he's gonna say it about a couple of cuckoos. I sound like Adam Sandler tonight. Oh, good, great, that's awesome. Is that good? Is that good? My wife teases me all the time because sometimes I'll go into like rants where I end up sounding like Seinfeld by the end of it. So I'll take it. I'll take Adam Sandler or whatever. Your Monster Girl Rem figure came today. Oh, and Ram too, but we don't talk about her. What Monster Girl Rem figure is there? Hold on. I'm unfamiliar with this. New search. Oh, the Lycan one. The Lycan one where she's a wolf girl with like wolf hands and stuff. Is that the one you got? You didn't see the new episode, Monster Girls? Wait, not Cat Girls. No! Not everything I pretend to stand for online. I think it's a farce. You baited yourself. Yeah, wolf hand. So how is wolf hand? They even look like gloves. They even look like gloves. What are you talking? You know, cat girls aren't real monster girls, but wolf gloves. Look at this. It's a freaking glove. That counts. That's Monster Girl. Freaking wolf gloves, tail, ears, collar. Shaking my head. Yeah, it's just Rem in a costume. Well, then it's not a monster girl. It's not a monster. It's just werewolf cosplay. Look, 4 interest-free payments of $750 with Sezzle. I love that there's like a quick and easy way to get like a payment plan for stuff if you can't like necessarily afford it. But I think some of the ways that the AI just does it for everything always make me laugh. You know, it's like it's a $30 figure. Like if you're looking at figures and you're looking at a $30 figure, you probably have the $30 to buy the figure because you're a crazy anime person. You know, a degenerate as we refer to ourselves. But then like 4 interest repayments of $750, like, you know what, that sounds pretty tempting. I could have the other. What if I buy it at $750 for 4 months, and then you know, company goes under, then I don't owe them anything. I could get a statue for 25%. Oh, silly. Anyway, that's a very, very cute statue. Very, very fun. Love the thigh highs, the short shorts. They got the nice cut fringe on them, so you know they're actually comfortable. This top is interesting, where it's like a bandeau top, but then it's also like a really wide scoop bra at the same time. I don't know really what's necessarily going on there. And it's just got full shoulder in the back, so it's almost very interesting. Oh, those shoes. Look at those shoes. The boots. Holy crap. I actually love this boot. Holy crap. We've got like a leather booty. And then like the heel part has like a little zigzag jim jam going on with the heel. I like that actually. That's pretty fantastic. Oh, cosplay is Monster Girl cosplay as Remen costume is better than any cat girl. Well, I mean, yeah, of course, of course. Immediately your new favorite figure. I have to say that's a good figure. Good figure. I don't know what I would classify as my favorite figure. I think some of I get more joy laughing about some figures, so I don't know if you'd qualify them as like my favorite figure, because like I have like an action figure of Godzilla and a Banpresto of Josuke. And all the monsters from Monster Hunter. We bought like the mega pack so that we could build the special shiny version. I don't even. Oh, I've got a Rem Nendroid. That's what I have. I have a Rem droid, and then I have a penguin that holds all her extra faces. That's here. I'll show you. This is like my only legitimate figure in our collection. Oh, she's dusty. Hello. Doot, 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 doot. And then all of the extra faces just go in the penguin face holder, because how fun is that? How fun is penguin face holder? I think it's amazing. I love the penguin face holders. Oh, hold on. I have a Figma. I have an unopened Figma of Saber in the dress version. Yeah, Saber dress version, EX025. So like a limited run Saber figure in like the original paper. I had a friend who wanted one, so I was like, I'll pick up two. We'll see what happens. So I still have the freaking thing. Oh my god, it came in your article. Yeah, that's what I was saying before you were like, I got Monster Girl figure. Look at me. Why was I so mean just now? I'm sorry. That was uncalled for. Oh, okay. Kemner article. What does cosplay actually say about her personality and worldview? Because to me, it says, I have enough money to have all the costumes for all the fun things that the plebeians do, and I'll break them out of my costume box later. But and so it sort of adds to her, just like her thinking that like fishing or baseball, or what else has she had an outfit for? Teacher, nurse, like all these like jobs are almost like a pretend game that the poors do. So it's been sort of I think it clarifies her as just like being like out of touch. I think that's what it does mostly. But it's fun. It's fun and funny. What was the cosplay? The baseball uniform and then the fishing uniform. The nurse costume. Like this photo right here is one of them. Couple of Cuckoos is a charming new rom-com anime series of the spring 2022 season that stars the studious Umino Nagi and his lovely fiancée, Amano Erika. These two teens were accidentally swapped at birth. Accidentally. Remember who said, hospitals don't just switch up the babies? This isn't about the new episode then? No. This, I think this is only gonna, he doesn't even give like a spoiler alert. I'm pretty sure this is only going to talk about the previous episode, the one with the batting cages and then the fishing and all that. And again, I caught wind of this headline and author, and I was like, oh, I gotta read this. On my way to read the we'll get to the actual article because I think the world thinks that the Fruits Basket romance is problematic. And I want to laugh at the people who think there's a problem with animated things because it's freaking animated. It's drawn. It's anyway, we'll get to that. These two teens were actually swapped at birth and ended up raised by each other's parents, which totally reshaped their worldviews. And oh, there's a fly. I missed. This is true of Erika in particular. Erika was raised by Nagi's parents, wealthy and successful hotel owners who gave her everything she wanted growing up. Curiously, Erika did not grow up as a self-absorbed himedere or an Ojo-sama type, the foo, back of the hand laugh. What's the Fruits Basket romance? You've only ever read the Hulu plot summary? Oh, my friend. There is a movie. We'll get to it. The movie came out. Movie's decent. It's a Fruits Basket. It's an anime movie that also ties into the series. So, like, you have to watch the series for the movie to make any sense. But there is some romance that maybe should not be if it were real. Instead, she's a carefree and fun-loving person who expresses herself not just with a model-worthy clothes, but also whimsical cosplay. Where does this link go? My dress-up darling accurately shows the struggles of real-life cosplayers face. Thank you, article roulette. In fact, her costumes provide some serious insight into her character. How Erika's cosplay represents her explorer side. So far, in a couple of cuckoos, Erika has expressed herself in a number of ways, ranging from her hobby of posting pics of herself on Instagram to experimenting with cooking with her biological little sister, Sachi. Of course, Erika also enjoys the wonderful world of cosplay, with her appearing in at least 3 unique cosplay outfits so far in the anime. Related article, Comey can talk now. Erika has dressed up as a gym coach, a Cupid-style magical girl, and most recently a baseball player. All this suggests that, well, most recent would be the fishing one, wouldn't it? All this suggests that Erika would rather change to suit the world around her than demand that everyone do things her own way. She wants to see the outside world as it is, not simply project herself into it. Like you're projecting this idea onto this character. I don't see that at all. It's crazy. Erika's enthusiasm for cosplay suggests that she is a curious person who is eager to explore and test the world outside the comfort of her foster parents' home, or she's scared of who she really is and she needs to actually put on costumes in order to think that she's good enough to be involved in these other things that aren't based on her own self and personality. Look at that. See how I can turn this? It's just a silly article. She's certainly grateful for everything her foster parents have done for her, except her dad. She seems pretty pissed at her dad most of the time. But even so, Erika might have gotten a bit bored living like that, and she wants to see what else is out there. Often, the children of wealthy parents feel bored or stifled by their lifestyle, leading to them to explore the outside world both in positive and negative ways, ranging from making lots of new friends among the working class to reckless stunts or crimes. Or just being a general asshole because you don't understand struggle. Like, that's usually what happens, right? You get someone with a ton of money who doesn't really understand how they got it and doesn't understand like the idea and importance of like hard work and stuff, and so they don't really teach that to their kids, and their kids are just like, yeah, money just is a thing you use, right? You just use the money, just spend more of the money. And it's more on just like parents not like giving them like a good instruction. Not saying that every rich kid is like that. I've known a few that aren't, but I also know some that are. So it goes both ways. Fortunately, Erica takes the more wholesome route and explores the outside world with cosplay and adventures in cooking. And she is happy to look and act like someone she isn't. Hence, her gym coach, Cupid Magical Girl, and baseball player outfits. Erica is growing bored of the flavor of her comfortable upper-class life and wants to go on a taste testing spree with costumes. I also would like to go on a taste testing spree with costumes. However, there's more. There's even more to it than that. More? How could there be more, Louis? How? Tell me! Erica's fondness for cosplay not only represents her desire to explore the outside world, but also her innate goodness and generosity. Oh, this seems like a schizo rant about I saw yesterday about how something connects to 3 different things and why someone is racist instead of being the name of a Zelda character. Oh, konbanwa, kampai, and Banzai! I'll hit that kampai. To Dennis, kampai. His beard and the photo of his beard makes us always feel warm. Where the hell am I in this stupid... Subtle traces of being a himedere, such as her vanity on Instagram, her fondness for fancy clothes, the habit of ordering around servants in the household, but Erica is very watered down version of the core himedere archetype. You can't kanpai today. What? You don't have anything to go to the bottom to? Just splash some water in your face and pretend like you did. It'll work. Spit in your hand and lick it. That'll be your kanpai for today. Just like those Himalayans that make an alcohol out of their own spit. Yeah. Oh, you can. Oh, good. Way to figure it out. I'm glad you did that. Congratulations. I feel snarky today, and I don't know why. But I do. I feel it. Most himederes are self-centered, vain, and love to control others, but Erica is selfless and compassionate, usually putting the needs of others ahead of her own. An early example was Erica's determination to bond with her biological parents and sister Sachi, then her attempt to become a Cupid and help Nagi get together with his crush Hiro. Or she thinks she's not good enough, or she's not like the person that's important that should have that position in Nagi's life. So she's going to dress up like something that helps make him happy. Because she can. Doesn't think she can. Her Cupid and gym clothes out. Wait, every time Erica dons a costume, it's for the benefit of others, and that flatters her character immensely. Her Cupid and gym coach outfits are 2 early examples, and more recently, Erica also cosplayed as a baseball player when she spent an evening bonding with Sachi. At the time, Sachi was highly distressed about Nagi seeing other girls, so Erica took this chance to comfort Sachi and take her mind off things. This included Erica joining Sachi at the batting cages in her baseball cosplay to help cheer up Sachi and get more involved in this particular hobby. And it worked! By the evening's end, when the sisters were at the public bath together, Sachi was much happier and more relaxed, and Erica commented on it. Her cosplay alone didn't save the day, but it played a part, and Erica's baseball outfit definitely added to the trend of her cosplay being a tool of generous and compassionate side. If she dons another costume in the future, a couple of Cuckoo's fans can be sure that something good is about to happen. What if it's a setup, though? What if it's not something good? What if they take it from being a good and make it a bad? Because that's what you do. You twist the invitation. Do it. Do it. Do it. What if the costume is funeral attire? Well, I'm gonna have to amputate. Oh my goodness. All right. We're half hour in. Time to get to Fruits Basket Prelude. Tells an uncomfortable love story by C.M. Ramsberg. Oh my goodness. Looks like Trigun has been in the works a lot longer than we have been aware of. Yes. Yes, that makes sense. Because in order for us to hear about it, someone would have to have worked on it. Starts doing the coffin dance. Oh, we killed him. No. How's it going, Brandon? How are we feeling today? Today is Wednesday. Yes. You want some Trigun? Oh my goodness. Some Trigun would be fun. But I have to talk about problematic anime relationships before we talk about Trigun. See, they're doing all new cast for the Trigun dub. They Johnny Young Bosch reached out and they said, "Hey, we love your work, but we want this to be all new people." I like the idea of giving new people a shot in an industry like that where somebody else is already established and able to get basically any role they really want. So like saying, "Hey, you know what? You already had this role. Let's give it to somebody else." Kind of an interesting idea, you know? Like, hey, we can work with that. We'll see. Always comes down to the actual ADR so that we can see who they pick and sort of what tone they're going for. I mean, we know what tone it needs, so we'll see if so do they. We'll see if so do they. That's a fun way to say it. Did you, Brandon, catch the Bastard trailer? The Netflix Bastard trailer that is out? Standing before the gates of hell to cry more. Oh, it's so good. So good. It's just the deplorables of the industry. Okay. I don't know necessarily like either of those people, but I don't know that I would even put them in the same sentence. Stupid fly's back. Get out of here, fly! Stupid fly. Oh my goodness. Remember when, like, back in 2000, like 2004? Oh, you could see the fly on screen. You could see it. I saw it in the camera. It was right here. I saw the fly. I'm gonna go for this fly and end up spilling my sake like all over my deck or something. Like, it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, fuck that fly. I tried earlier. I got a new I've got like a little torch attachment for my propane, like those mini propane tanks, so that I can like light charcoal. So I'm gonna use one cooking fuel to light another cooking fuel so I can cook with like charcoal and wood. It'll be good. It'll be good. Oh god, another Ramsberg article. No, don't rams me. You're gonna come by Ramsberg. Okay. C.M. Ramsberg is a lover of all things magical and fantastical, from anime to superheroes, period, when she's not binging. Wait, is binging actually? Oh, yeah, that is binging. Webtoons and K-dramas, she can be found Wait, why can't I read this whole thing? Why can't I see this whole thing? I have to... Oh, there we go. She can be found rewatching Naruto or writing fantasy novels. Gosh, oh man. I'm going to call this episode Blaine versus the Fly. Magical Girl Degenerate. Yeah. Yeah, we got that. We figured that one out. So, before we get into it, I'll go over it. This is Kyoko. This is Katsuya. Kyoko is the future mother of Toru Honda, who is the main girl in Fruits Basket. This is Katsuya, her dad. By the time we get to the show, her dad is wait, they're both dead by the time we get to Fruits Basket. It literally, like, that's like part of the show, is that both of her parents... Oh, I unshared it. Dang it. I have to undo that. So in Prelude, I was told Fruits Basket Prelude tells a little pre-story. You start it, and it starts at the end of the current, like, the new season, the new version of the show. It just starts right at the end, and you're like, oh, great. Now I gotta figure all this out. And so it jumps around for a bit, very jumbly in the beginning, before it finally, like, flashes back to watch Kyoko and how she met and fell in love with Katsuya. Katsuya is a student teacher at her junior high. Isn't she homeless or something in episode 1? Yeah, I think I'm pretty sure that's why she lives with the Somas, because she can't afford rent anymore or something like that. So a student teacher, so someone in college. So we're talking 19 to, let's just say 19 to 23, right? Is doing student teaching in junior high. This is when they meet. She is in junior high, which is math. Let's just say she's 13. So he meets her when she's 13. He thinks she's interesting, but she's a kid, so she's young. So he waits. Is just like a teacher in her life and everything. And then eventually, they do meet later in life and get married, and then they start a family. 13 to 19, that 6-year gap, really not that crazy. Like my parents are 7, 8. They're a good amount of years apart. Because once you're old, like when you're my age, like I'm almost 32, right? And people who are 45 to like 25 all kind of feel like we're the same age. Like it's all just kind of like, yeah, they're older than me, but like it could be 2 years, it could be 20 years. Like by the time you start getting up there, you get people like I've got a cousin that like went like just straight up balding like the second he graduated. So he just shaved it off, and he immediately went from like 22, 23, 50. He just skipped all of those like 30s to jump to the balding phase of life. So by the time you're older, those time that the distance between the dates of your birth means a little bit less when you do get older. What is a little funky about their relationship, man, my freaking hair, would you stay over? I need a haircut. I need to cut all these hairs. Is that he is in that student teacher role. He is in that sort of like place of power. He is, already sort of like established and set up. So the fact that he shows any sort of kindness to her it is immediately like, oh wow, I really like this guy. What am I doing? What is he doing? Why is he hanging out with me? All this kind of stuff. And I bet you this article is going to talk about grooming. This is going to get into some kind of grooming article. When like if you want to say there's a spectrum of grooming, like maybe, but like everything that he does in the show is like, you're a practically homeless delinquent kid. Let me buy you a meal. You know, he's not doing anything that's like, you better come with me, girl. You know, he's not being weird about it. He's just like, hey, you know, life is more than just being a crazy delinquent. So why don't we do things that aren't crazy delinquent, and I'll help you study for school and that kind of stuff. So it comes across very normal, but I bet you that our magical girl degenerate brings up the G word. Let's see. Let's find out. This time on Blaine's Escape Corner. I gotta reset. Resetting the windows. Nice job, Vegeta. We made it. Alright. Anyway, the show overall pretty good. Like, not bad. I could have done without the first, like, 15 minutes of the show. Oh, hello, Steven. How are you? I could have done without the first 15 minutes. A lot of the like, ooh, this is like a scene coming up in the next season, or, you know, whatever it was. It was like, oh, who cares? But the main show is pretty good. And like, we get there, and then like some chick comes in and sits down like 2 seats away from us. I swear to you, the entire movie, she was wiping tears from her eyes. Just like, at first I thought maybe she was like had to blow her nose or something, or like she was eating popcorn, but no, I finally kind of looked over because like her hand's moving up to her face a lot, and it doesn't look out of the periphery like she's going to her mouth with popcorn. Sure enough, she was crying like the whole time. And it's a sweet movie, like it's a fun love story, but like I don't know who hurt her. But if you're out there, life's gonna be okay. All right, you know, it's gonna work out. And if those were tears of joy the entire time, oh baby, bring some Gatorade to every movie you go watch that even hints at a love story. I'm glad I hope they enjoyed it, but I feel like they did. I feel like they did. No, Kampai, Steven. I just double drank. That's what I do. So let's see. Let's see what's an issue. What's uncomfortable? Are we uncomfortable? Are we uncomfortable yet? Because uncomfortability is where we find creativity. The highly anticipated Fruits Basket Prelude resulted in disappointment for many movie goers who flocked to theaters to better understand the love story between Kyoko and Katsuya Soma before they had Toru, the series' protagonist. Despite widespread curiosity about their story, many fans were left uncomfortable and confused as to how and why their questionable relationship began in the first place. Are you going to be for us or against us? As a flawed, yet beloved character in the Fruits Basket series, Kyoko is known for her complexity and troubled past. Raised by cold and abusive parents who never thought she was good enough, she becomes a juvenile delinquent. Oh, it's a link! Oh, it's a link! Oh, it's Tokyo Revengers. Will it revive the delinquent genre? Of course not. Nobody cared enough to do that again. Hitting the jar again. I'm glad you found like the actual the little jar that I use for my sake. I can't believe there's an emo for that. So, Kampai. Little sips, because I gotta make it last. I gotta go to Ajimaya tomorrow to get more sake, as well as other foods and goods for the 4th of July weekend, where we celebrate independence by making fire and smoke and boo boo pew 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 pew. Woohoo, baby! I am smoking some sausage, and I'm grilling some sausage, and I am gonna be do some infrared ribs because it gives them a little crisp on the outside. I love that. I am Bat-At Man. Bat-At person. I don't understand. Is that your email? bat@person.com. Who constantly skips school and joins a gang? Well, they're already in the gang. So When Kyoko finally visits her middle school and is scolded by her teachers, she is left alone in the room with Katsuya Soma. He claims she's acting out because she wants attention, then invites her to lunch after school. However, the audience soon discovers that Kyoko is a 14-year-old student in junior high, while Katsuya is a 22-year-old student with an unsettling 8-year age gap and unfair power dynamic. I'm sorry. Fast forward 7 years, right? She's 21, he's 30, and they're at a bar. Not as weird anymore, is it? Fast forward. She's 50, he's 58. Not as weird anymore, is it? It's only weird because she's 14, and because she's a kid, he literally says, like, you know what, you were young, so I didn't want to do anything yet, but I knew, you would be really nice growing up, so I wanted to make sure that you didn't, like, get hurt or fall into delinquency again, that you worked hard, he wanted the best for her, like when she was in school still. And he's a student teacher, so he has some he says he doesn't, but he has some desire to, like, want to do this or want to, like, make sure that, like, the youth are taken care of, right? It makes it seem like they started dating immediately, right? Like, he took her to a meal. That's a date. He paid for her meal. He wasn't just trying to get her out of school because she's a delinquent and the principal was literally about to hit her and she was defending herself with a chair. He didn't want to just get her out of that dangerous situation and get her a meal because it looks like she's been sleeping on the streets. He just wanted to get in her too young pants. That's all he could think about. The age thing is not ridiculous. Yeah, it is if they were to start dating right there and then. If he's like, all right, let's go out, you're my future wife now, like, that's weird. But the fact that he's like, I just wanted to make sure that you were okay, and then eventually runs into her later, literally runs into her, like, he just kind of, like, is there, and we're left to believe that he's been helping her study. But then he just shows up and he's like, hey, we're going to get married now because she's old enough. She's on her own. She's doing her thing. Like, we're out of here. And it's what? It's 6 years later. I don't actually know. That's the other crazy thing. Anime does that weird thing where her character model doesn't change. This is her. And the only difference that ever happens to her is that eventually, after he dies, she gets short hair. Like, that's the only change they make, is just, like, oh, now she's a mom, so we're going to give her a short-haired, like, MILF cut. Like, that's all we're going to do. The entire time, she has the same exact character model. So we're to believe that her body and face did not change from 14 to... 30? I don't know. When did she have Kyoko, or when did she have Toru, and when did she, like, die? She just looks the same. Height, build, everything. So it's just one of those weird. That's a weird anime thing specifically. But again, unfair power dynamic. I still don't get this. She is literally a delinquent. He has no control over her. He's a student teacher. She doesn't care about grades. She doesn't even go to school. He literally offers to help her study because she wants help to study, and he offers her a meal. Like, I don't see a power dynamic in that situation. Funnily enough, I'm 90% sure that gap in age would not be super legal in California. I think we have a thing about 14-year-olds and up minors with someone within 10 years of age. Whoa, I have heard of some Romeo and Juliet laws, but 10 years? That seems like a lot. Mothers in anime age super gracefully, true. Yeah, they anime women have a bang and bod, and then when they have a kid, they get that shorter haircut, and that's the only change. They and then eventually, they're just Obasan. They're just that, like, short little, oh, hello, Gandhi, I can do it. Just tie it all back. So specifically, a Romeo and Juliet law is designed, like the way that they're designed, if I get weirdly legal on this for a second, so that if you're 17 and you're dating someone who's 14, and then you turn 18 and they're 15, that you're not having a statutory rapi, we'll say. And so that's the idea, is that they have some sort of gap, but they don't, I don't think that they specify it as like you had to be together prior or anything like that. I'm not familiar with that, because usually the way the laws are written are age or any sexual intercourse with a minor is statutory rapi, unless the two are within, and then they'll say like a gap year, basically. So like if they're within 5 years or 3 years, like 3 years, I think is what it is here in Washington. But if it's 10 years in California, that's crazy. That's crazy. Judge's discretion if the guy commits insertion. It was on the ballot box a few years ago to extend that to stuff too. Wouldn't commit insertion cover like all the bases? Like why would they specify the location of insertion that specifically? Her teacher fell for her pretty early, but I don't think he being an adult and her being a teen is abused in Fruba specifically. Exactly, because in the beginning, what he is doing is taking care of her. He's like, hey, you're a delinquent. I'm going to give you a meal. I don't know when the last time you had a good meal was, so let's go get a food that I know is going to be tasty. And then as the relationship moves through the movie, you know, they're doing the study groups thing, and it's literally in public on a thing, and they're just studying. Like he's just trying to take care of her. Like, yeah, I'm sure that as she's growing up, he's like, yeah, I think this isn't just like a nurturing feeling. I think I actually like he probably is falling in love with her in the same way that she is falling in love with him, right? He probably isn't just immediately like, this is love. He's probably like, I need to take care of this girl. He's got that protect instinct, that protect gene going on. So I think that's more of sort of the situation as it stands. So I'll be interested to see how unsettling the age gap and power dynamic is as we move through this, but we all know where I am. Anime fans are about their soul characters, not their aji. Yeah, we can't put crow's feet on anime characters. People won't buy the model. The gays. No, the gays were in a tizzy because it specifically didn't extend to butt stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh, California dreaming, but instead of repealing the law, they tried to extend it. It's called the butt stuff bill. Didn't you hear about it? The California 10-year gap butt stuff bill. Oh my goodness. Oh, your statutory rape laws don't extend to he wouldn't. Oh, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say that. Oh, amazing. Oh, goodness. Oh. You know, he said extend. What are you talking about? We're talking about a California butt stuff bill. SP 145. All right, class. Alrighty. Oh no. Oh no, it gets better, everyone. Oh, I am not a lawyer, I have hired lawyers in the past. I am familiar with law to some extent. Oh no, naked! What is going on? Get out of here! Get out of here! No! Get out of here! Wait, hide user's channel. User will be hidden. Okay, cool. Remove. Okay. Whew. Oh, it's a bot! Also, what is with all these new like, I remember when it was like .com and like .gov. Beta. Do I love black people? I love black people. I think black people are amazing. I always felt like one of the things lacking in my life was having more black friends. And so that's been a huge joy of my being in the anime community is like with Goku and rap and everything. Like there's a huge contingency of black anime fans that I've been able to make friends with. And I love black people. Beta! Jesse, you asked me. Oh, every time you join late, lol. Oh my goodness, sex bots. That's I did make it. I did it. Bot actually relevant to the conversation. Blaine's Destiny Corner. Yeah, we'll get Destiny on and we'll talk to him about anime and see how much of a degenerate he actually is. Okay, well, can I make this work? Can this just shrink a little bit, please? How about if I do... Oh, there we go. I can do this. That works. So basically, the judge at the time had discretion whether to add a male who penetrates a minor to the sex offender registry if they were within 10 years of age. Didn't extend to boy on boy. So yeah, interesting. Am me? Are you talking to me? Am I closer to my mother or my father? I didn't get it yet, that stupid fly! What? I hit you! Get out of here! OMG! Fuck ads! Sex cheaper Tinder! Oh man, everything before was reference to Destiny and Jesse Lee Peterson debate. Yeah, I think that's just a Jesse Lee Peterson thing. I don't like. I know that he did it a ton in the Destiny debate. It was freaking hilarious. But I think he did that to Hassan too, didn't he? Like Jesse Lee Peterson just asked those questions just constantly. All right, I'm gonna who's vigilant in chat? Who wants to help? Here, we'll just do everybody. Here we go. All right. Plop. Plop. And plop. And oop. And plop. And plop. Sorry, anyone who wasn't already a homosexual, you are all now gay mods. No. Plop. That way, I think if you're all mods, you can't like, no one can like ruin someone else or something. Great power. Yes, exactly. No more naked bots. Thank you. Your only job is to keep the bots out. Which is weird because I have links turned off. So like, why did the bot even show up? They can't post links. If I search .gov, you get bots. Yeah. Real. I want to read about a law that makes it so that gays have to have the same sort of thing. No, I die on Serranos. Your job as a mod is to do nothing to everyone else. Your only job is to is to stop the bots. That's the only. You're my anti-bot liberation force, and the bot containment unit. That's you guys. And yes, I believe Jesse Lee Peterson also interviewed Hassan. It was like 2 or 3 years ago. It was a bit, but it is hilarious. I think the Destiny debate is funnier because I think Destiny takes things a little more as a joke, so he bounces a little bit better. My is even banner. I'll unmod you. I'll take you out of the unit. You're out of the anti-robot task force. Your wife had false labor last night. Woo! Should be having her 3rd child any day. How exciting! How exciting! That would be fantastic. The false one, the false alarm though, like that can get you. Interesting though to hear it on a 3rd child. You know, most of our friends that have kids, it's like the 1st, and maybe the 2nd, because the 2nd has like, this isn't the same. This must be it. You know, something happens, and they're like, oh, this is different. But by the 3rd, I'm interested that you actually got interested. I am intrigued. I think intrigued is the proper term. That you would have a false alarm on that one. Crazy. I should give you one of those anime charms for ease in childbirth, but I'll pray for y'all. Clap, clap, jingle, jingle, clap, clap. Okay. So, you're taking the wrong way. His angel on his head, so he isn't quite in the right spot. Oh no. So he's like trying to do one of these. He's like, oh, I can't. Is it pat head rub tummy, or is it pat tummy rub head? I never remember, but I can kind of do both. So before the bot showed up, before we were invaded, we pulled up this law. A Father's Day ×3, of course. Have I ever visited those shrines? Oh, all right. Let me real quick. We pulled up this law. It says literally right here, SB 145 wiener. And I started laughing at that, and then the bots showed up, and I was like, oh no! Oh my goodness. Oh, it comes to come out looking like a barrel monkey. He's a little silly little monkey. As long as he's not swinging from the umbilical cord, you know, you'll be okay. That is never fun when the umbilical cord goes the wrong way. But of course, prayers for you and your family as you approach the 3rd. You are about to be outnumbered. You are about to hit a point where you just pray for the day that the oldest can help out with the younger ones, that you and your wife will have to divide and conquer and find a way for each hand to grab a different child. And so strength as well as medical precision as you move forward with this next stage of your life. Congratulations to Kampai. All right, shrines. So, thank you. Prior to this channel and after my Let's Play channel, my wife and I actually did a Japan travel channel. It was called The Adventures of Blaine and Katie. I think it's just Blaine and Katie, and Katie spelled EY. When she pops on and talks, it'll say like Blaine and Katie. That's the account that we had the hell was it called? The travel channel on. So my wife and I, for our honeymoon, went to Japan, and we did the big 3 plus a little trip down to Yoshino. So we did Kyoto, Tokyo, Osaka, and then Yoshino for a shrine, or not a shrine, an onsen. And Evangelion will make them age quicker. Make them watch it a couple times to get them out of diapers faster, save some money. Later, Michael. On our honeymoon in the fall in Japan, we fell in love. We absolutely love. No, the account is still there. I can let's see. I think we actually got a custom link. Yep. Okay. Here. Not leaving. So we fell in love. We fell in love with Japan. So the first time we went in Tokyo, we saw Meiji Jingu is the major shrine there. And then there's lots of small shrines, like in the Ueno area. There's a whole, like anywhere you see like a line of torii gates, you can walk through and there's going to be a shrine at the end. So you can drop some yen, you can shake the bell, you can do the claps, you can do the bow, you can do all that stuff. There's water at the beginning to like wash your hands before you go into the area. I am a Christian, but I do feel like that kind of ceremony thing is more like wiping your feet before you go into someone's house. It's not that you're like worshiping some deity that they have. It's more that you're just showing like because the staff, like all of Japan thinks they're Shinto, but also doesn't believe in Shinto gods. So it's the same for them. They're all just kind of going through the motions. But I quite enjoy it. It's a very fun little ritual. On our honeymoon, we fell in love. Well, we did. No, I was infatuated with my wife the second I met her. No, we fell in love with Japan. We fell in love with Japan, I should specify. And so after Tokyo, Kyoto, Kyoto was shrine, Fushimi Inari, Ginkakuji, Kinkakuji, Mizudera. What the heck is that one called? Anyway, now it's gonna drive me nuts. Kiyomizudera, that's what it is. So we've been to all of those. No hate to like arranged marriage people. It was like, what? Yeah, no, we're both very prudish, so we only wear bags at all times unless I'm at work. Everything. So that was our honeymoon, and when we finished up our honeymoon, we said, we are going to save our pennies, because I mean at the time we were both working like retail and restaurant jobs, right? So it was just kind of like whatever we did. So when friends would go out and spend a couple $100 at a bar, we wouldn't. So we would stash that away, because we told ourselves we need to see every season in Japan. And so after that fall, we then went back the next spring. No, 2 springs later. So it was like 2 years, and then we went in the spring. No, I think we made it the next year. I think we actually did it the next year. Yeah, then we went back in the spring, and in the spring we saw most of the same cities, but we did like a different. Instead of going to the mountains in Yoshino, we went to the north coast to like an onsen town up there. But then in the summer we went back. Oh no, summer was just Tokyo, and then in the winter was the first crazy trip we took. So we flew into Tokyo, and I'll pop a map just so. Blaine's visited more of Japan than all the shut-ins waiting to get isekai'd. Funny story about that, actually, that I will get to. I have seen more of Japan than most Japanese people. And it's kind of hilarious. So let me pull this up. Will this look good? Yeah, it looks good enough. All right. So there's my mouse. Oh, dang it. Get out of here. Funny story. Almost got isekai'd. All right. I almost got isekai'd by the oceans of Tokyo. My wife and I are from Seattle. Rains in Seattle. I'm like, hey, you know what? It's raining outside, but we wanted to go to the fish market. So I was like, hey, honey, we've got umbrellas, and we've got an umbrella, so we can go get another umbrella on our way. There's convenience stores everywhere. We go to 7-Eleven, and we can go from there. we head out, and it's raining, but then it's windy, and then it destroys an umbrella, and I'm like, all right, well, I'll just buy 2 umbrellas. So I bought 2 umbrellas, and then it destroyed those umbrellas, and like the waves on like the rivers and stuff that you're walking over the bridges are just going crazy, and we're like, what in the world is this? So we make it all the way to the sushi market, and we're like, we are not having sushi right now. And so we went to we went to like a ramen place where like all the sushi workers were eating, and finally, like, we make it through, then we go to some other stuff, the sun comes out, blah blah blah, have a good rest of our day. Then we get back to the hotel, and at the time we did not have any sort of cell service or portable Wi-Fi. So by the time we get back to the hotel, my and her phones explode. My parents have been trying to contact us. Her parents have been trying to contact us. Everyone's been trying to figure out where we are and how we are, because a typhoon, just like you said, typhoons are no joke. A typhoon hit Tokyo, and we were out walking at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 5 a.m. in a Tokyo typhoon going to the fish market. But not only, so typhoon weather thing, sure, maybe mom saw it and she was freaking out. No, 2 American tourists were killed by this typhoon, and my parents thought it was us. So for like 10, 12 hours, so, however long, maybe 14 hours, because we try to maximize our days over there, my parents thought we died in a typhoon in Tokyo on our honeymoon. So we didn't get isekai'd, but someone else did. And it's so strange. But yeah, so for the first trip was like Tokyo, Kyoto's right here, Osaka right here, and then we went to Yoshino. It's kind of down in this area. Second trip was Tokyo, Kyoto. We went to like up a little bit to a little town here, came down to Osaka, then went to Nagoya. Nagoya, pretty fun town overall. And then of course you got to leave through Tokyo. The third trip was where we came in and spent just like 11 days in Tokyo during the summer. Summer was asinine. Yeah, umbrella manufacturers in Japan make plastic and like twist tie umbrellas because they know there's a billion for sale, and everybody just sticks them in the little slot in every business as they enter, and then forget them on their way out and buy another one. So they just crap out these things for like pennies on the dollar. What? Anti-bot force! Attack! Attack! You're about to ask if we had Samsungs. Yeah. Yes, actually. I do love Samsung phones. But I think this was I got married back in 2013. So I think this was pre-exploding phone. And so... Woo! I like that it says who did it too, so we can give our props. Nice job, Pop. So the third trip was just in Tokyo, spending the summer, and it was the time that we actually we went to Tokyo, but we also went down to Hakone down here, which has a beautiful view of Mount Fuji, and then back from there. That was quite a bit of fun. But then the fourth trip is when I found out this weird thing. Like, think about whatever country you're in. I killed the bot. Oh man. Think about the country you live in, and how much of the country you live in have you seen? Now, I'll grant you that Japan's about, a little bigger than California and Washington and Oregon combined. Like, it's about that same size, right? There's not as much space technically, but like for me at the time, I had only really ever been in Washington State and some parts of California and Oregon, right? Like I don't really travel around America a lot because it doesn't really interest me. But when I go to Japan, I want to see everything. So we flew into Tokyo. We rented a car. So we get a car in Tokyo, And then our first leg was to drive up to Ginzen Onsen, which is the onsen that is based off of, or the Studio Ghibli Spirited Away onsen is based off of. If you use the train, you see a lot of the state. Our train sucks. Get out of here. Don't talk about Amtrak like it's any good. We're talking about Japan, a place with good trains. But I rented a car. And I took the roads and we drove up to where the snow foxes are. We went to the studio, like I said, Ginzen Onsen, where Studio Ghibli designed the Spirited Away place, and it's fun because the actual like ryokan bathhouse that Spirited Away is specifically based on has like a no-face cosplayer outside handing out candy. At least they did when we were there, and it was like the middle of winter. So if they're there in the middle of winter, then I'm sure that they're there all the time. Because when we were driving in, it was like the snow had been plowed, but like the plow piles on the side of the road were taller than our car, our little like Honda Fit that we were driving around Japan. So from there, we drove up to Sendai. We visited 16 states, you think? I have now, because I have family all over the place. So like I've seen states that I never thought I would see, like going over to New England. I was like, wow, this is crazy. I never thought I'd come here. Amtrak does suck, but you like it because it's fairly cheap. Yeah. No, they're we have like Sound Transit and stuff, but I think they're like an Amtrak subsidiary, like technically, because of the way that BNSF runs the railroads. Like only Amtrak gets to use them, so even our like local city stuff still has to be Amtrak owned. I think. I don't know. I don't care about those contracts. I care about Japan. So we drove up to Sendai, and then we drove up to Aomori, which is right here, and got on stayed in Aomori. Then we got on a ferry and went up to Hakodate. Hakodate, some of the best seafood I've had in my life. And so this whole island here is Hokkaido, and we were there in the winter. So we went from Hakodate, we drove over to a place called Noboribetsu, which is a crazy hot spring town full of oni. And all of these parts are actually on that other channel that I put. Do I still have it? Yeah, they're all on this other channel. So if you want to actually like see what we did in each of these places, you can do that. So we stayed at the onsen town there, and then we went to Sapporo for the snow festival. So this whole like center grass park is just covered with snow stuff and concerts and food, and it's delicious. Then we went over to Otaru right here to do their ice village. That was fun. And then we got like, there's an ice bar, like they made a bar out of ice. We got drinks there that were in cups made of ice. It was fantastic. Quick jaunt over to Yoichi to go to the Nika whiskey distillery. And then getting back to the thing, the whole reason I was talking about all this crap. Sapporo, we're at the village and we go to the tourist center and we're like, hey, tourist center, tell us what to tour, because we're here to do touristy things. So we went to like the Sapporo beer factory. We went to all this kind of fun stuff. But then they were talking with us and we're like, oh yeah, we've been there. Oh yeah, we've done that. Oh yeah. And we started telling them about where we had been in Japan and what we had seen and what we liked about Tokyo or Kyoto, Osaka, Nagoya, all these different places. And then they looked at us like, you've seen more Japan than most Japanese people. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're right. But then I realized that I haven't seen more, like a lot of America. Good H location with good seafood is Hakodate. It's also the location of the end of the Meiji Revolution. So if you watched Golden Kamui, that whole fighting and everything ended in Hakodate. So there's a lot of like old castles shaped like stars, or there's one big castle shaped like a star, I guess. But there's a lot of like references to the battles and stuff in that area. Very, very fun. And then from Otaru, we went up to Furano, which is, get out of here, which is known as the belly button of Hokkaido because it's right in the middle. During the summer time, they have beautiful flower fields, but during the winter, it is actually a great like snowboarding and skiing area. We didn't do that. We just went for a little snow festival that they had up there, and the Blue Lake, which was hilarious. The Star Forts of Japan was restored after the battles in that city were won. Yes, yeah, I think technically he had already come to power by the time that they were fighting way up there, like because they were way the hell up there. Like look at how far that is from where like Tokyo is. You know, they had been pushed pretty far away. Let me grab one of these. It's called a Goryo, or it's called Goryo Kaku. Let me turn this off and then turn this one on. So you can see it's got a star-shaped moat, which is like a single bridge to get into it. And so then there's these raised areas where like the cannons and stuff would be. And you can see like it's just shaped like a star with a moat around it so that it can sort of like fire out in any direction, I guess. And all of the angles have angles on the other angles. So if you come to try to attack here, sure, they can shoot straight at you, but you also have sort of this flanking angle from this star. So you have to have, you know, shielding up on this side and the front. You can't just straight attack anything, because if you come straight in, you've got kind of a flanking angle on both sides. It's a cool idea. Doesn't really work in the modern era, but it's a very, very interesting fort design for sure. The Boshin War, is that what they were called? I forget. Japanese castles have some crazy defensive architecture. Yeah. And the craziest part too is like the castle that we look at is like the place of last resistance. Like when you think of the like Osaka Castle, or you think of the Heron Castle in Himeji, that big structure is the, oh shit, they're here and they're already in the gates. They climb up into that structure and then they can shoot out and defend it better. But it is the like the oh shit, pull the cord. That is a scary place. Then what was the next one? Oh, the next one was we flew into Osaka directly because they have an airport, but it required us stopping in Korea. So I've spent 6 hours in Incheon, Korea, and then we started in Osaka, went to Kyoto, and then drove and stopped in Himeji. And the Himeji Castle, like you're talking about crazy defensive architecture. The same castle mentioned in Sakura Wars. Honestly, it probably was. I feel like Sakura Wars mentions a lot of like not super commonly seen things from Japanese history. But I'd have to dig deep to actually find that. But like Himeji, like you're talking about defenses, like one of the craziest things about like, oh, they're back again. Nice. Oh, it changed. Oh, that's funny. It says me now, but it said Michael, then Paru, then Steven, then me, and now it's Michael again. So I think Michael was the number. Oh, now it says Paru again. Oh, these crazy bots. So at Himeji, like we all know that White Heron Castle. This thing is big, it's gorgeous, it's beautiful. Like it is the castle of castles when it comes to design. It is just gorgeous. This is gonna be just random Himeji town stuff, but like this castle is fantastic. It stands kind of at the back middle of the grounds. And then as you enter, you keep getting closer to the castle and then farther away as you weave through the gates and the path and everything until you finally get to the door. So you are you're constantly getting close enough that they can shoot arrows at you, and then having to go farther away and then come back in and they shoot more arrows at you, and then you have to leave and then you have to get back and they shoot more arrows until you finally get to the door. So it's an extremely defensible castle. It's also the only castle that like hasn't burnt down or had any like significant fires or anything. So it's pretty crazy to actually see in person. My special attack not fail to restrain it. No, what are we gonna do? Baro-chan, what's its attack level on the scouter? The first leg of that trip took us to Hiroshima. I went all the way. Star shot arrow. No, everyone needs to use the real greatest attack in all of anime. Hammer. Hammer. Oh, there's these freaking Gundam fighting games, and if you're using the RX-78, you can do this move where you use like a hammer strike, and he just goes hammer. So stupid. I love it. But we went to Hiroshima. We didn't go to Ghost of Tsushima because Tsushima's way over here, and we didn't. The game hadn't even come out at the time that we were taking this trip. But Hiroshima was cool. Hiroshima is fantastic. You want a place that sombers you, that makes you be silent, go to the Peace Museum. That park is amazing. But also, like, the whole thing is, like, the air is 10 times denser in that area. Oh, okay. And then Itsukushima, this little island that's right out here, has all the deers on it. It was adorable, very fun place to go. But we got Hiroshima style okonomiyaki. I prefer Osaka style. I know people like the big stack layers of the Hiroshima style. I'm a bigger fan of that Osaka style okonomiyaki. Do you know that I fought to save all of Tsushima against the Mongolian invasion and lived? What? Are you some kind of ghost now? Is it a war museum? No. No, it is not. It is Dome East Boulevard here. It's a peace museum, technically. And there are shadows of people that were just vaporized. But yeah, being like, these images are not really going to show anything of what it was like. Like, you've got the picture of the person, she's carrying a child, and there's another child like behind her, going through the bomb storm and everything. There's a giant bell that is like, this bell will be rung when there's no more nuclear warheads. There's a fire, like a little peace flame in an arch, and then you come all the way to the top, and you can see the atomic bomb dome. This is the building directly below where the bomb exploded, and it's still like, it has some like reinforcement inside it because it's an old ass building, but it is a terrifying location to be, and it's just a big park, and there's just a lot of people walking very quietly, and like, the only thing you hear are animals and like some trickle of water. Basically, it's a very sombering experience being at this museum. Very, very good, very good. So from there, we left. We like I said, Itsukushima is very fun. There's like a shrine and everything on it. But the best part is there's deer like stealing tourist food, and it's always funny to watch tourists get their food stolen. This is also the place that has the floating torii gate, and sometimes like the water, like twice a day, the water goes out, so you can actually walk to it. Dark ended the battle against cons. Yeah, and it's not even like that. Like the initial experience has to be like terrifying, but it's all of the follow up of like Like, honestly, this is gonna sound very, very strange, but the place that I felt the impact of what happened the most was at the Mazda Museum, because Mazda Museum is like Mazda's warehouse, their factory is in Hiroshima, and so their museum is like, we started as such and such Mazda back in 1910, and we were developing this car, and we got this motorbike. They had like a motorbike with a truck on the back, blah, 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 blah. And then everything was lost, and it just like, it goes blank. And then the video like moves on to like, but we are industrious and we had to rebuild, and you get that like that sense that rebuilding, the tingles are like coming up your spine from your feet, and you're like, oh yeah, they do it, industrious, you guys can fight back, you can do this, you can rise up and you can rebuild your city. And so they built that like 3-wheeled truck thing, and then now we have the Mazda that we have now. That's the part that hit me the most. Like, as beautiful and wonderful as the park is, the Mazda factory tour was the part that actually put a tear right here, right behind my eyeball. It just sat there like, hey, you know what? We could drop. And I was like, we are in a foreign country right now. I will not show weakness. The last thing I need is this. This is off topic, but I'm curious if you guys can name what anime my D&D character is from right now without Googling his name. Gagumber. What is with Japan and random animals stealing food? It was in Dress Up Darling 2, though I've heard New York squirrels do it as well. And Seattle seagulls will steal all of your French fries if you go down to Ivor's. Kuma Bear, final answer. Mr. Hamburglar. Love that country, definitely. Such an awesome history and show of resilience from Mazda. It is such a, like, if you, well, I wonder if like the factory tour video is online somewhere, but if you can find it, like, it really is one of those like heartwarming stories of like rising back from literal ashes. It is such a strong statement. And then they went with the rotary, which worked kind of. Can't say they made all the right decisions, but Sky Active is pretty cool, so that's interesting. I'm a bit of a car nerd myself. Gagumber. I want to say it's from Go Danner, about the young couple that get married and then they become robot pilots, and their two robots combine into a bigger mech, and it's all about their love is in their first year of marriage. I'm going to say your character's from Go Danner. So then we drove farther down, all the way down here, and then we stopped and we went to a little place called Ainoshima. Ainoshima is the cat island. This is the place that you go to, or you see like all of the YouTubers go to, like, there are cats everywhere. Wow, this is crazy. Aired last fall, called Sakugan. I did not watch that one. I remember the imagery though. Wasn't that like the dad and the daughter show or something like that? But yeah, so we went to Cat Island. Cat Island's depressing. There is nothing but dilapidated buildings and like a few old people who it feels like they can't afford to move somewhere else. There's fishing there. I saw like the biggest spider of my life. Go Danner. You need to watch Go Danner. Go Danner is fantastic. Plus the theme song is Go Danner, Go Danner. It's so freaking good. I love it. Plus it's like just silly, great comedy. From like an early, I want to say like 2004 episode. It's so good, so good. Ruled by Cats ended up tyrannical. Yeah, and like you're not supposed to feed the cats or anything. Like they're taken care of elsewhere and in different ways. But yeah, you get there and you're like, oh, I was expecting a happy, fun cat village with like a cat cafe or like a cafe themed around cats where the people are like dressed as cat maids or something. And like, no, it is just like I gotta go fishing. Get out of my way. Like, whoa, hey, Grandpa. Like, I was not expecting you to be here. Where the cats at? Damn felines are over there. You're like, whoa, this is just your life. And he's like, I hate these cats. Okay. The show isn't great, but not bad. Okay. Cat Maid's degenerate. Cat Maid's degenerate. Too many old people, not enough cat girls. Yup, you got it. Too many rundown buildings, not enough cafes full of coffee and cat girls. I mean, we were like there were some like other Japanese people that went. Like there were probably 10 people on the ferry totally. But it was one of those like, now anytime I see like we went to the cat island in Japan and you watch their videos, you'll notice it's just like on the cats. And like you don't see anything else around the video. They're just like, look at this cat. It's a pretty cat. Cat came up to me. Look how cute this cat is. And then they'll go get like a coffee or something because there is like a coffee shop. But it's like literally the ferry terminal. They'll be like, I got this coffee at the cat island. And then it just says like cat island on it or something. You know, it's just like, wow, knowing what's beyond the frame of this video feels very weird. Like our entire time we like when we filmed it, because at the time we were filming for this, I don't think we released it though. It was like, this town is sad. I feel very, very like unhappy being here. Depends on the type of cat girl. There's no mythological creatures that look like cat girls, are there? I'm sure Egypt has some. Come on, come on, come on, man. Fukuoka. Does anyone remember a show called not Hazaraku? Oh my gosh, I don't even remember what the show is called. don't get started. Watch out, or Grandpa's gonna come down and boomer all you guys. The heck was that show called? It was like detective. Hakata Tonkatsu Ramen. It was like a detective show. It takes place in Fukuoka, and it had just aired prior to us planning the trip. So we planned our trip to go to Fukuoka. We're like, oh, we'll go down there, and it's the home of tonkotsu, which I really love. Tonkotsu ramen. They boil the pork feet at a really high temp, so you get a lot of the collagen out. It makes a very milky, silky broth. I freaking love it. Fukuoka is fuck you, okay? Because this town is disappointment everywhere. Like this, going to this town is like, like what's an equivalent? Like, we're gonna go. You know, I'm gonna go to New York and I'm gonna see the big city of Albany. Like that's what Fukuoka is. Like, it's a city. It just is a normal ass city. The coolest thing was that at our hotel, we were like next to the ramen stadium that like has like a bunch of ramen restaurants from the area that are all in one location, so you don't have to go anywhere. You can literally try like small versions of everybody's ramen, so that was kind of cool. But the whole town was just freaking crazy. Kimono Mimi is different from Monster. Oh, what? Yes, Kimono Mimi is just having cat ears. That is different. How dare you? It depends though, because like if your Kimono Mimi is you just putting on animal ears, then yeah, that's different. But if like your Kimono Mimi is because your mom's a cat and your dad's a human, then you're a monster girl. Relationship goals is going to a place after seeing it in an anime. Yeah, well, it hasn't worked out too well, so take that for what you will. But then at the time we went down to Kumamoto, and the castle was still being rebuilt after the last earthquake, so it wasn't really that great. I'm saying the only thing cool in this, it's an entire town in Japan that took us like 15 hours to get to. And all they had was ramen stadium. But there wasn't even like a stadium battle or anything. Oh man, okay. I'm not gonna keep up with this, by the way. I'm just gonna kind of cheek at it. Humans have ears, humans have tailbones, humans aren't half snake. Cat girls are posers. Oh man. Maybe that is a monster. Oh, Paruchan going with the Bake Neko, the actual ghost cat that takes human forms. Okay, I did also learn about mentaiko, which is a hot chili marinated cod roe. So maybe, you know, there's two things that are interesting about this city, but when you plan to spend 3 days in the city, you don't just sit at Ramen Stadium for 3 days. And then we went to, like, I'll tell you how boring this dang city is, all right? So we went to this place called the Underground Shopping Area, and it was just like a few shops in a subway. It was like, oh, that's it. We went to Riverside Yatais. So like little food stalls on the side of a river. You've seen it in anime. You've seen the stalls on the side of the river. You're like, I want to do that. You sit down, and I spent $7 on one skewer of meat that tasted like it had come from Costco. If I wanted Costco meat, I would go get Costco meat. And then we're like, oh, well, it can't all be bad. Maybe if we go up to this Umi no Nakamichi, the seaside park, it'll be great. And so we go in, and then you pay money to go into a park. So we paid money. We're like, it must be good. So we paid money. We went in, and then I was like, oh, look, there's a car museum. Oh, look, the car museum costs more money. What is this? Freaking, some kind of theme park? No, it's just a normal ass park. And then it was like, oh, look, there's go-karts. Oh, well, the go-karts cost money. And I was like, all right, well, you know what? I'm gonna do the go-karts because I freaking love go-karts. So I paid money to do the go-karts, and I got in. And you may know by what I've just been talking about cars and stuff. I like to drive. I'm a bit of a racer. I'm a bit hot on the wheels. I can drive pretty good. This was the slowest go-kart I have ever been on in my life. In my life, I was crawling. I had it floored, and this thing could not even take me up a hill. Hold on, 1 second. I need to show you. And it's not even like a cool park. Like, I've been to cool parks. Cool parks are cool. Do I have a video of this? Can I pull this up? No, I can't. Dang it. It's not packaged properly. I can't show you. Anyway, I was crawling. It was awful. And then we we're like, okay, well, let's at least see the ocean. So we start walking to get to like where the actual ocean beach is. And like golf course might have been fun, but we're like, we don't have clubs and shit. But we're walking, and in this area, in the fall, in Japan, the spiders, the Jorogumo, are insane. They're huge. They are massive freaking, like their main abdomen is the size of my thumb. And they make these giant orb weavers nests. And so you're like, where the heck am I going? And you're like walking through the park, like trying not to get hit by a giant spider web at the same time that you see the giant spiders in them, and you know they're orb weavers, and orb weavers are indeed poisonous. And you're like, I do not want to ruin my trip with a damn spider bite. I am not going to ruin it. And then you finally make it to the ocean. You're like, oh, it's just a freaking ocean. Like, I've seen water. I live in Seattle. I don't need. Why did we do this? This place is boring. I don't care how cool Ramen Stadium is. But at least it was close enough that we got to see the laying down Buddha, wherever the heck that is. I forget. The Zaifu? Is that the lay down Buddha? Where's the laying Buddha? Nanzoin, this one. This guy, Sleepy Buddha right here. We went and saw him. Him? It's a him, right? Yeah. So I saw Sleepy Buddha, but like this town needs to step it up. They need to pump some money into their tourism idea. You like spiders, but that sounds stressful. Me too! Because spiders are amazing, and spiders get rid of all the insects that annoy me. All the stupid little fly. Like, I'm literally fighting a fly right now. If I had a spider that catch that fly, I'd love that spider. But when you're on a trip, and you know that spider's poisonous, and you know that you're bigger than that spider, and you know that spider will see you as a threat if it hits you, you're like, I don't want to spend a day in a hospital. I got other things to see. I know this hospital bill's gonna be like $5 because I'm in Japan, but I still don't want to play that game. What have I missed? Monster Girl. Cut my losses. You're gonna fight this one out. Parks charging you hurts. Yeah, well, okay. Gardens in Japan that charge you makes sense because it costs money to keep a garden in as pristine a condition as they are. This felt like a city park that just also had like go-karts in it. It just didn't feel like it would be a thing that you should actually pay for. Again, it's just very, very annoying. Get an electric zapper and become an equal to the spider and flies. I have a lantern, like an outside zapper. We finally got one. Host a mad debate? What's a mad debate? Is that specific? Oh, a monster girl debate. I have been trying to make this work. Michael was working on putting together a video so that we could have some data points to go through. I would love for it to be a debate. You're thinking of AMVs now. Yeah, it's like my 5th isekai human today. It's pretty cool. And on the other world, you have the executioner's way of life going on. Like, where do these people keep coming from? Oh, videos are hard. You have your thoughts together and can do it anytime. Okay, we can do it anytime. Do you want to? I don't know what your schedule is. I know you had some days off last week because of your teeth and all that. But we can make it a Friday, or we make it another day that works better. Do we have a champion? Do we have a cat girl champion that will rise up for the greatness that is monster girl cat girls and feels they can properly defend themselves against the tyrannical Michael DeLucia III, who believes only in spider girl supremacy and Lamia supremacy? Me! I'm Spartacus! You're basically only free Wednesday and Thursday. Okay, well, let's think about it next week, Wednesday. That might be a fun day to do a debate of something. Michael's a Monster Musume apologist. No, he's a Monster Musume evangelist. He doesn't just apologize to figure out like why it's great. He tries to convert you. It's peak fiction. Monster Musume is great. I will champion them. Lamias are fine too. They just get a bad rap because of the name. Lamia, more like Lamia, am I right? And they're like, well, it is kind of a snake girl. What I think is interesting is if Gorgons count as Lamias. That always is confusing to me. But like different Greek depictions of a Gorgon, they have like snake bodies, but then sometimes they just have human bodies, like more fantastical Medusas or whatever. We can talk about anime, the anime that I've finished this season. We've got quite a few of them. When we went to Kumamoto had just been under earthquake, so we got close as we could, but like all the rocks from the cool rock walls were all laid out with like numbers on them because they were like trying to put the puzzle back together. Pretty crazy. Then from there, we went to a place called Kurosawa Onsen. Is that what it was called? I think that's what it was called. It was over here in the Aso Mountains. And it was a pretty nice little onsen village. Then we went to Beppu. This was a long trip. It was like 2.5 weeks. Beppu is a place where you can like cook stuff in steam vents. That was pretty cool. And from there we took a ferry across the waters to Yawatahama and drove up to Matsuyama. Matsuyama, famous for oranges. They've got oranges all over the place. Pretty fantastic. E-Class asking for it. Matsuyama Island I quite enjoyed. And then we drove through the island here. Did we make any other stops? I don't think we made any other stops on the island. I think we just drove through the island over these bridges. These are the Naruto bridges because like the water does swirls like the Naruto ramen fish cakes do. It was pretty cool. Stopped in Kobe to get some good old Kobe beef. It was amazing. But the thing with Japan, all of their beef is amazing. Kobe beef was the first one to come to America, but Japanese Wagyu from every prefecture is amazing. Specifically, Matsutaka is the greatest one I have ever had in my life. Kobe, still really dang good, but that Matsutaka beef is better. I had Matsutaka when I was in Osaka a couple times, and it is fantastic. Harpy Lady from Yu-Gi-Oh! Gosh, I hate those cards. All right, you've got 1 week, Steven. Your only hope right now is that you can command a conversation and Michael won't be able to say anything too stupid. Yeah, I believe in you. I believe you can dominate this one. Oh, yeah. That was way back historically from what I'm talking about now. We went to, on the honeymoon. This is Yoshino. So here is Osaka, Tokyo, and then Nara. Nara is like where the deer park is. And then south of Nara is Yoshino here. And Yoshino is where we went to an onsen up here. And at the onsen, they bring your meal to your room and cook it with you. And then we had like this little hot plate and they put beef on it. And the beef had this crazy marbling on it. And I looked and like I only knew like a few words. And I was like, oh, Kobe beef desu ka? And they were like, yeah. Like, no. This is our beef. This was just beef from the Yoshino area. And I was like, you mean all Japanese beef is like this? And they were like, yeah, it's just normal beef. And I was like, what? Freaking blew my mind. That old Oba-san taking care of us while we're at our stay. Because you always have like a house grandma that takes care of you, especially when you're a foreign tourist. And it's fantastic. She's not always really old, but it's always been a her. But that one was a really old lady, and that was fun. They dressed my wife up in a pretty kimono and everything. It was a blast being there. What else have I done? Oh, the one that I got in right before COVID. Literally the like fall before COVID. We flew into Tokyo, did a bunch, like I think we did like 11 days in Tokyo because we were showing some other friends around the city. And then from there, we went out to Mount Fuji and spent a night in a ryokan on Mount Fuji. That was very fun. And then from there, we went to Shizuoka. Best tuna I've ever had. Best tuna. So like Hakodate is where they catch the best tuna and the best squid. So like you can get really good seafood up here. But the people that pay the most for it live down here in Shizuoka, and they have the best frickin' tuna in the world down there. So we went down there. Then my wife loves wine. And so she is on a mission to find good Japanese wine because as great as Japanese people are at so many skills and crafts, they cannot make a damn bottle of wine to save their lives. You go and you get it, and it's like Franzia. Like, that's what they serve as wine everywhere we've been. It is. It's box wine. Like, everywhere you go. Like, you go to, like, a really nice refined wine. Like, we went to a winery in Furano, way up north. It's freezing cold. Freezing cold puts a lot of sugar into the grapes because there's a lot of sun and a lot of cold. They don't get too big. Should be very good. The grape juice was amazing. The wine was Franzia. Wife is Catholic? No. No. Wine lover, yes. Catholic, no. But I appreciate the joke. Uh, but we tried another winery around here, like on our way, and it wasn't that good. And then we went to the Hibiki, the heck is that called? The Suntory, but I think it's the Hibiki distillery. And the Hibiki distillery was amazing. I forget exactly where it is around here. But I love me some Suntory. Beam Suntory, Suntory whiskey is my deal. It is fantastic. It's amazing. It's got a good wheat to it. I freaking love it. Um, Ice wine, yeah, no, ice wine, like Inniskillin. Oh, it's so good. That's just syrup though. It's so sweet. I have to cut it with like a coffee or some really bitter vanilla ice cream or something, just because you get some of those ice wines that they're just sugar syrup. They're so freaking good though, so freaking good. Oh, I forgot to say on the way back. So we went up to Furano and then drove back. On the way, we stopped again in Aomori, but we also stopped in Niigata. This is like the sake capital of Japan, and we did like the sake vending machines. That was pretty fun. Think I can handle it? I think you can handle it. I believe in you. I'm only like half paying attention to chat right now, but I believe you. Need to be defined. Oh my goodness. So ice glasses actually are pretty dang good. I have I thought it would be gimmicky. I thought it would be like, it's a glass made of ice. Chills the drink. You don't need ice in the drink. You're wearing gloves because it's frozen outside, so it's not like your hands are getting cold. Iced I don't know, we probably had like vodka cranberries or something. I think I got a highball. But yeah, very 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 fun. I don't remember where we drove up to in this area. Oh, we drove up to Matsumoto. Matsumoto's a fun place because it has the Black Castle, the Black Raven Castle. There are 14 castles in Japan that are original, and this is one of them. So this one and Himeji, the Sendai Castle. I think I've seen 3 of the original castles that are still around. But this one is my favorite because it just has these cool black lacquered windows. And what's really interesting about it, I'm gonna get real like Japanese nerdy on you here. It's been built and added onto at different times. So when it was a castle to defend places, you walk through that section first, and you're ducking because the pillars and beams and stuff are all really low and kind of cramped, except for where you can fire out from. Those have plenty of room, and because if someone's chasing them, they want them to have a hard time getting in. So there's very weird stuff like the very steep stairways and everything, so they can get kicked back down the stairs if they're coming up, all that kind of stuff. And then there's an add-on to it that it was built sort of towards the end of the war. So there's room for like gun slots, and you can, instead of arrows and swords, now you've got the guns that are being incorporated. So you've got a different type of weaponry that is being adapted for this next part of the castle. And then the next section of the castle was built during peace. And so you have this beautiful big, it's this area right here, this red area on the corner here, big room with black shiny lacquered floors. You can walk around, you can stand up, there's big windows. The saying when you're there is at night when you're drinking, there are 3 moons. There's the moon in the sky, there's the moon reflected in the moat, and there's the moon reflected in your sake. And it is just beautiful. It's gorgeous. It is fantastic. Really, really fantastic. 14 castles that have never been rebuilt. I believe that's the number. Let me just double check that. Just to double check. They've been renovated. Like they'll do updates and paint and like some other stuff like that. But they've never been like burnt down and rebuilt. Oh, I love Bill Wirtz. Hey there, knock knock, it's America. I love this stuff. You just give yourself a mental image of Nick Fuentes with the Cat Boys. Nick Fuentes, come detective, with his cat boy entourage. There's some cummies and they're gonna find them. There are only 12 castles that are considered original. You're gonna have a tough time in the war with cat girls on your side. I may stand without ally, but they will hold me back. Are you kidding? Have you ever tried to like put a pill in a cat's mouth? I say this because I had to do that earlier today. Cats will fight. Cats are fighters. I already got Michael to agree with me on a monster cat girl. I think we come to common ground. Okay, so now E-Class, are you going to be the moderator? Are you the empath who's going to bring the two together? Not even Konako. From DXD gets a pass? Konako's a demon! How does she not get a pass? Hold on, let me real quick. We'll reshare this so you can see what I'm going to refer to here. League of Nations. Don't do that, Japan. How about we do anyway? I'm trying to remember. There was someone who they talked about the rapé of Nanjing, and they used Bill's video on Japan's history because they were in the video. He's like, and then they did some rapes. And he's like, well, let's talk about it because it's a crazy get out, look. I think it's anytime I say the repay word. I think they hear me say repay and they just show up. That would be hilarious to moderate. Medieval Sengoku architecture. There are only 12 castles in that are considered original. Bichu Matsuyama. So we went to the Matsuyama Castle. So I have seen this one. This one's crazy because it's up on this hill. It's a kind of a pain in the ass to get to, which is like, oh well, no shit, it's still original. Who would get up here? Knowing better. Fact check Bill Wirtz. That's what it was. Yeah, that was a good video. She's a demon. That's not her cat parts that make her a monster girl. It's the demon parts. What? Changing screens in my browser. Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe you're onto something. Hikone, not been to that one over in Shiga. Himeji, I have seen, like I said. Hirosaki, Inuyami, Kochi. We drove through Kochi, but we didn't stop, so I didn't see that one. Moroku, Matsumoto. This is the one we were just talking to. It's called the Crow Castle. I like to call it the Black Raven Castle because ravens are cooler than crows. I don't care if it alliterates. Matsuyama and then Uajima. She's literally just like everyone else in the group, but she also has cat ears and tails. Yeah, so why isn't everybody else as cool as Konako? Answer me this. Answer me this, anti-cat man. Matsumoto is a beautiful town. It's the second place that I ever had horse because they're really famous for it. He's like, we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen next Wednesday. Maybe we should see how the cat girls identify. All right, let's all start off with, can you give me a definition of cat girls? I am not a monster biologist. I think we should let the cat girls who are underrepresented in media speak for themselves and define whether or not they are monster girls or not. Oh, cat persons. Oh my gosh, you guys are crazy. Did we go to Nagano? Nagano sounds familiar, but I don't remember anything about it, so it must not be that exciting. Oh, the whole area is called Nagano, so maybe we didn't. Maybe we just drove back. Maybe that was it. Really? Just a couple things? Oh, and then we went to Nikko. So we went like way up here to Nikko. Nikko is where This is Nikko Toshogu. This is where Ieyasu Tokugawa, so the great unifier of Japan. You buy Cat and Kitten. Oh no. Winter Olympics were held in Nagano. That is probably a true fact. The Winter Olympics were also held in Sapporo, so we saw their old stuff, but I wonder if Nagano was probably after the Olympics. I didn't go. I did not go. Where is Monster Girl? The chat, by the way. So Nikko Toshogu is where Ieyasu Tokugawa is buried. He's the guy that unified Japan after the Sengoku Jidai. This is also where the hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil monkey carving is from the legend. As far as I know, it's like the original carving is here at this place. Nikko is so much more fun than I was expecting it to be. The whole town is this one street, but there's like a microbrewer, and I mean microbrewery. Like we go in and it's like a 10 by 10 little bar, and we grab some of their different beers. And then like this 10 by 10 bar has like a big window, and you look through the window and there's 5 stainless vats on the other side of the window. And that's all of their brew. Like it is a micro brewery. It is a ton of fun. Really liked it. And there's also a place here called Edo Wonderland, which was a really fun like theme park that is basically designed like Edo period Japan. And at the time, let's see if I can get some decent photos. There we go. That'll make them a little bigger. So the whole thing is designed like Edo period Japan. Periodically, geisha will walk from one point in the area. Like this is all a theme park. All of this is fake. None of this is like real old Japan. But it's like one of those things where like kids can go on like a field trip and they're like, I want to go to the blacksmith. I want to see the geisha dance. I want to go to the kabuki show. And they do like the puppet shows and stuff. They do the geisha squirting shows. They do like everything. It's a ton of fun. Just an absolute blast. Oh, I missed that one. Fuck overpriced Tinder. I kind of like the message from these bots. So what's even cooler about it though is at the time in this when we went to Edo Wonderland, Demon Slayer had just finished its first season. So as we're walking around enjoying this interesting theme park, there are all of these Demon Slayer cosplayers dressed as Inosuke, as Lightning Boy, as Tanjiro, as Nezuko, like not just one group, like groups of cosplayers all doing photos in an Edo period theme park. It was so freaking funny. Yes, they squirt water, not what you're thinking. It's just water out of fans and stuff, kind of like like Aqua does, where she has like the fans and then like water comes out. It's literally that. They're like water. It's really funny. But yeah, it was a ton of fun, and like at this point we knew enough Japanese to be like your cosplay ga ski desu. Like I really like your cosplay, or whatever. Like, oh, kakui, that kind of stuff. Like we were able to, like, it was just fun because, like, of course, if you're like, I want to dress up like Inosuke and I want to go take some pictures like it's Demon Slayer, you go to a place that looks like Edo, and it just is Edo. It was crazy, super fun. Definitely loved that place. Utsunomiya, we went to like an onsen in that area, and then we came back. I think that was the end of that trip. And then the no virus came, and we weren't able to go back, and we still haven't. And so I've got tickets. Oh lordy, I've got tickets. I can't wait. You're making me want to go to Japan even more. Everyone should want to go to Japan. Like straight up, the big 3 plus a small like outing. So you do the big 3 and then a trip to Mount Fuji, or the big 3 and a trip to Kinosaki, or the big 3 and the trip to like Nara or something. Tokyo, Kyoto, Osaka. You land in Kyoto and you've got buildings that are 20 stories tall, and each story is just a normal retail shop. So you walk past a building and you just walk past 15 different shops. Crazy fun. Your buddy back in the day brewed his own beer in the garage and labeled it. Awesome. I've got an uncle that brews. He doesn't label it, but dang, if his stuff isn't good. Oh, it's so good. He does I think it's a Pilsner, but he mixes in whiskey soaked wood chips when he's making it. Oh, it's so good. You get that effervescence of whiskey on top of the beer. Oh, it's so freaking good. Dream vacation truly is a dream vacation. 100%. I have sacrificed a number of things in my life to be able to go as many times as I have, and I would not trade it for anything. Last time we were talking about this, I literally have every volume of Monster Musume next to me. Build a throne out of your Monster Musume volumes. Do we care that people wanted to be a part of the sex registry just because of butt stuff from SB 145? Wiener! Dang, this is long. What is wrong with California? I'm amazed Michael is your best girl. He works at Volvo now. Oh, it's funny. Existing law, the Registration Act requires a person convicted of one of certain crimes as specified to register with law enforcement as a offender while residing in California or while attending school or working in California. As specified, a willful failure to register, as required by the Act, is a misdemeanor or felony depending on the underlying offense. This bill would exempt from mandatory registration under the Act a person convicted of certain offenses involving minors if the person is not more than 10 years older than the minor and if that offense is the only one requiring the person to register. So this is saying that they will not have to register if they are not more than 10 years older than the minor and that they only have the one offense. What if they have two offenses with the minor? What then? What do you do then? And it's so they're trying to get out of mandatory registration for the 10 years. It doesn't say anything about butt stuff. I am a offended wiener. Mia and Arachnia are your tops right now. You're coming out with something going to take a long time, so you're not going to explain what it is yet. Well, I am ready for you. Am I trying to summon the bots plane? Yeah, I am. Requiesce in pace in padre and fade. I'll just start. I'll start reading IKEA instructions backwards and see if we can summon some demons around here. This law is troubling. Why? Oh, do you know why we're talking about this law? Because of Fruits Basket. Oh my goodness. They tried to revise it to make everything okay. The way that this SB, like, here's the deal. In Washington, we say, like, here's what the law is going to be doing, and then we put down, like, the law, but then there's, like, highlighted what the added parts are so that we can know, like, just, you can scroll through it and you can see the added parts, you can see the crossed out parts, and it's, like, very clear and obvious. When I scroll through this, I can't tell what's changing to the law. And it references so many other subsections and everything because they just have the entire damn act on here. It's like, I would hate to live in this state where I have to, like, read the whole freaking law to know what is happening, right? Like, they're like, oh, we want to change the law here. You shouldn't have to, like, freaking go through all this. And it sounds like this isn't everything. It's crazy. Like when we passed our short-barreled rifle bill, it literally had, like, the existing one, and it highlighted and then crossed out what we were crossing out, and then highlighted the text we were adding, and it was like, okay, yeah, easy. So simple. What about Fruits Basket? Oh, I'm sorry, E-Class. Were you not a part of that part of the discussion? Fruits Basket has a movie called Prelude, and in the movie called Prelude, Kyoko, or Toru Honda's mother, and her father, Katsuya, are wildly different in age in the show, and some people find it problematic. You came in late. Okay, yeah. Phrasing there. Hold on, let me. There is no reference to butt or analysis or what else? There is no penetration. What? There's not even anything spicy in this dang bill. Oh no, there's something problematic in Fruits Basket. Yes, okay, so long story short, Prelude movie starts out boring because it starts out with a bunch of like new scenes from the ending of the current season. You're like, get to the Prelude part. And then it finally gets to the Prelude part and it's pretty good. Gal next to me, like 2 seats over, constantly wiping tears. Like she was crying the whole time. Oh, pop culture, I'm sorry. This is a late stream, isn't it? Well, you have a wonderful rest of your night. We will just finish up this article. So if you're really interested in knowing why this is a problem or what we think about it, I think you know my take. No, they get married at 16, which is legal in Japan, which is also it's only legal nationally. There's a lot of prefectures in Japan where the legal age is 17 or 18. The whole like you can get married as a kid in Japan, like not everywhere. It's like if the federal government were to say, hey, you can get married if you're 15, and then every state said, oh, but what if you're 18 or 17 with consent or, whatever it is. So it's just like different states sort of a thing. Did they not see the romance from Toru's friend and the guy probably 18-ish years old? That's the thing, is it's like none of this is a problem, and I think that like you get to see in the movie the change from this girl needs help, I'm gonna protect her, I'm gonna like take care of her, give her lunch, help her study, she seems interesting, blah blah blah. He talks to all the girls in the class like he's just a good teacher, and he goes from, or he's a student teacher, so he's even younger than that. He goes from that like caring phase to a love phase. So it really, by the time it changes over to the love phase, like they're definitely old enough, at least in Japan. And again, her character model hasn't changed. That's what we didn't start with. Thanks for your word against the bot PC. Yes, thank you, Pops. Does that include vampires? We've been over this. I have asked about monster girls that are 100% human looking. No, those are monsters. But what makes them a monster? Wait, Kureno is wholesome though? It's all wholesome. It's all lovely. The joke is just that someone who would watch Fruits Basket, a literal show about a bunch of guys that either have some form of attraction to a specific girl, then get their panties all ruffled when they happen to be of a slightly different age. It's just silly. It's just silly. And honestly, this is probably just like a rage bait article or something. Oh, vampire age differences. Vampires count if they actually drink blood and all the vampire crap. No Twilight vampires. That's right. That's what we decided. I am so stoked for Call of the Night. I cannot wait for that. According to Demi-chan. Oh, I love Demi-chan. What? Again? Get out of here. Thank you, Paro. This is insane. I've made it to the big time, guys. Fruits Basket is wholesome and terrifying. I remember reading the manga. This is the first anime that I actually read the manga entirely prior to watching. The only other one would be Initial D, but I never finished the Initial D manga because there's just so dang much of it. So much of it. Let's see what they think. Let's get into this. Cheap sex streamer recommends. Yeah, I would probably recommend the cheapest of sex most of the time, as in free, as in your personality should be what pays for it and not money. Paro Samurai Lightning Chan. There you go. Your fourth form God breathing style. Why don't I ever remember Lightning Boy's name? I could Google it, but I don't care enough right now. When they first go to lunch together, Kyoko admits that it's unusual for a student to go to lunch with a teacher and wonders if Katsuya will get in trouble for buying her ramen. When this question is addressed, it's simply brushed aside when Katsuya explains that he's just a student teacher interning at her middle school. Zenitsu, thank you. However, this doesn't change the fact he's a fully grown adult who's about to graduate college and enter the workforce. This disturbing relationship between student and teacher develops in the middle school, where Kyoko admits she goes to school simply to hang out with him on the rooftop during lunch, all while skipping her actual classes. So he, as a student teacher, he says he doesn't really like to do student stuff. He doesn't really want to be a teacher, but at some point, he has this feeling of you know what, we need to take care of people. So if he's the reason she shows up and he's able to do some form of tutoring for her, it starts out as that caring, take care of, compassion. He's not yes, if she comes to the rooftop 4 more times, she will be mine. Mine forever. Demon Slayer trash streamer hates it. Rin and Haru are quite codependent. Shigure and Spoiler have a huge age gap. Did he write articles about that too? No, this is CM Ramsberg or Cum Ramsberg. If you want to say it quickly. She is a Magical Girl fan. Here, we can just click over. She's a Magical Girl fan who has made 152 articles about Nine-Tailed Fox and Kitsune lore, webtoons, Yasahime, K-dramas. Very, very specific. Oh, get out of here. Get out of my... I don't want to do that. Don't make me do that. After pop culture beat me the first time, you said become number 1. I will become the greatest general this army has ever seen. We won't have a bot step foot on this land again. So glad you can relate to Parochin on some of these shows. Good, because we all love anime, and anime is great, and that's why we want to make sure. Because remember, when Fruits Basket came out, all we had was Fruits Basket. What else was out that season? I'd have to look, but each season had maybe 1 show that you were interested. Each year had maybe 5 that were good enough for you to be yeah, I'm interested in that. I'll watch that. Now there's 6 this season that I'm hoping I have time for, and 4 others that I really want to see as well. There's so many shows out there, so much anime that if a show doesn't speak to you, move on and watch something else that'll be good, or if not better. Always focus on finding the escapism in your life that makes you happy, helps you learn, is healthy for you. Don't stick to something just because the world says, well, this is the best anime right now. It's it isn't. Is it? We'll see. I want to be the very best like no one ever was. I want to be the very best. One Piece does cat barrels better than any isekai. Where the heck were we? Oh, skipping her actual classes. Despite the age difference, Katsuya shamelessly makes advances and flirts with Kyoko by teasing her about her eyebrows and spunky personality. The age gap is also referenced and joked about throughout the film for comedic effect, which was met with more cringes than laughs. Gal next to me cried the whole time. She cried and cried and cried. She loved it. She either loved it or hated it, but I'm pretty sure she loved it because she left there just and she like you can't like calmly get out of an aisle, but like when it finally ended, we wanted to see the credits, so we sat around, but she loved it. There was no cringing. When Kyoko asks Katsuya if he has a Lolita or little girl complex, is that what we call this now? A Lolita complex is a little girl complex? Huh. Back in my day, Lolita specifically meant those gothic poofy dresses. It was flat as justice and gothic poofy dresses. Now, I grant you, it was probably called Gothic Lolita, but at the same time, it's the only Lolita I was aware of. The popularity of romances aimed at male audiences, Horimiya, Komi-san, Love It, Love After War Domination. I feel like shoujo are also making a comeback. Where the link to? The link just to what are Lolita and why are they popular in anime? And it was we can read about this one another time. Here, I'll bookmark it for another time. It wasn't that great. Same expression I made while trying to justify watching Hatsukoi Monster. Having a hard time with One Piece. You don't understand why nobody tries slicing Monkey's arm as he extends it way past them. Dated a lady 8 years older than me, and she was my lolly girl, dresses and all. Yeah, I mean, lolly is a body type. It's not an age, right? Or at least a slice of life is dominant this year. People do that all the time. Usually most are surprised at first, and he gets them pretty quickly. Wait, do they? Oh, I see what you're saying. Anyway, because of his romantic interest in her, and he admits that he has one now because of her, moviegoers could hear the audible gasps and oh no's throughout the theater. Where are you? Where are you? When she says, "What you freak?" we all giggled. Our whole theater was like, "Oh, get it?" Because she's like, "You must be a weirdo to love me," and he's like, "Oh, I love you, so I must be weirdo." You know, it's. We all thought it was fun and silly. This lighthearted approach to a questionable and illicit relationship. In what country? Like, just relax, bro, or gal, or dude. I don't know. What do we call people now? Created several tone-deaf jokes that didn't sit well with viewers. What viewers? Where were you? Was it you and your one friend who also can't take a joke and is all uptight about romance? Or was it just you two that were making these noises? Gosh, you're a goof. Go have fun somewhere else. As a lifelong fan of SOL, I feel very gratified. Also, E-Class, you have to suspend your disbelief a bit. My argument to this day and continuing is that all anime is slice of somebody's life. Cowboy Bebop, slice of life. They're just bounty hunters. That's their life. That's the slice of their life. This theater is full of freaks. Or again, maybe they just have very loud friends who sat right next to them because, like I said, everyone in my theater thought it was amazing. They loved it. I didn't hear one person who was like, "Oh, this is a thing." In the manga, when he revealed why he fell in love with her, you were like, "What?" This article is madcap. Well said, Blaine. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, he's growing into his love for her. And when he finally realizes that, he's like, "Yeah, I guess sure, I've got that. I've got that complex because I like you. So if I love you, then I must have that complex." It's like how your partner is your fetish, right? Like whatever you're interested in, whatever that is, becomes whatever your partner is. And I say partner just so I don't have to say husband or wife or girlfriend or boyfriend. It's easier. But now I've said it, so now I'm not saving time now. Freaking stupid sometimes. Kyoko is a student failing out of middle school, while Katsuya is a student teacher who can easily charm her with his money and maturity. I think maturity charms everyone. I don't care if you're 14 or if you're 40. You meet someone who's mature and controlling in a situation, you're like, oh, okay. I'm a wife con. Yeah, I am a wife con. Gundam is slice of Gundam life. Exactly. It's a slice of colony life, a slice of Mars life, slice of Mecha. Oh my goodness. No, slice of Mecha is Space Battleship Tiramisu. That's slice of Mecha. I freaking loved that show. If you haven't seen Space Battleship Tiramisu, watch it. There's not really any good mecha coming for the summer season, so if you need a little mecha in your life, go back and watch that show. Money when he gave him yeah, buying a kid who is probably starving because they get kicked out of their house and they're a delinquent a meal, that's flashing money and you're looking to take advantage of them. You didn't know that? Knowing that Kyoko has a difficult home life, he seems to pursue and groom. I knew it. I called it before we started the article. I knew we would find the G word here eventually, because everything nice you do for someone is grooming them. They have to be trolling. They have to be 100%. They have to be saying, what can I write that'll actually get some spice, that'll get some people to read it? They should have, if they wanted the real bait, right? This article should have been Fruits Basket Prelude, a groomer story. Like that's what they should have done. If they really wanted to step up that clickbait, they wanted to get people on this, they should have started with the G word. Because she's an impressionable and easy target. And then he stayed with her for years until they had a kid and he died. He stayed with her till death do them part. But it was just because she was an easy target. Just strange. Oh, no one's ever treated them with a meal. We should buy them a meal. If I ever encounter this human, if I ever encounter CM Ransberg at like a con or something, I'll buy him a meal. I'll do it. Just be like, hey, look, I bought you a meal. Guess what? I'm not in love with you. What do you say now? I did something nice. Am I grooming you? Am I grooming you to write a nice article about me? Is that just the new term for doing something nice so that someone will be nice to you? Did I tip the waiter in order to groom them? Did the waiter smile at me to groom me into a bigger tip? I mark my words. Mark my words. In a month, maybe two. In a month, the term groomer will be used so ubiquitously that it will become the new manipulate. Like, instead of saying manipulate or sell, they tried to sell me on this. They tried to groom me on this. You know, it's going to be the new word, the new term that everybody's going to use. And we're going to laugh the whole time because it's so freaking hilarious. It'll be like, it's like how based and red pilled is used by like everyone to always say that something is like true and good and solid, and yet people use it to define things that are opposite in definition. You're like, what? But he said that was based, and you said this is based. What is based now? Oh my goodness. Oh, the Bored Ape Club. Yes. Stretches further than Luffy. Yeah, I'm surprised you were able to type that. I am impressed with your I guess we're 2 hours in, so they probably aren't really that interested in keeping up with all of it. But yeah, the Bored Ape Club has made some some 1940s era apes, we'll say. You know what? I think it's hilarious, and I think they should be like the most rare apes that are out there. But I don't care about those. Yes, exactly. Like gaslighting or narcissist. And I hate it because sometimes I try to use the word gaslighting, like as gaslighting, as like, oh, did I forget something? And like now I'm thinking this way, and now I'm trying to convince you of this thing. Am I accidentally gaslighting you or something? You know? And I was like, I don't want to say that phrase, but like that's kind of like the phrase that I would normally have used. But now you can't, because now if you say gaslighting, it's like, oh, you're gaslighting me to take advantage of a situation. Oh, you must have narcissistic personality disorder. You've got to get the whole thing. If you don't have the whole thing, you're not true enough about it. Made in Abyss has a movie with grooming. Make sure you watch that movie though, because if you don't watch Dawn of the Deep, you're gonna be very out of place when that next season rolls around here in the summer. So make sure you watch Dawn of the Deep. He's constantly fighting pirates with swords. Some have more than one sword too, if you think about it. There's lots of swords going around everywhere. Webster would be so sad. Miriam, they gotta update the definition. They're using the word different now. You were raging in that movie. Did you see it in a theater? Because I didn't see it until like a week ago, which means I watched it online. Can't use narrative or narcissist. Yeah. Like, gosh, I need a new, like, my thesaurus is getting burnt out. I can't keep opening this app anymore. Made an essay about the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is an NFT thing. He makes every minute connection to Nazis and tries to state it as a definitive fact. I thought they made actual Nazi ones though. You watched it back in 2019. That makes sense. I thought there were actual like Nazi apes that got made like in SS uniforms or something. I haven't seen this video. But it sounds hilarious. Oh my goodness. Groom her because she's impressed. Yeah, whatever. That why again? Again, if your goal is just to have sex with them, why does he stay with her? Like, because at this point, if I call her an easy and impressionable target, then anyone who dates anyone who is, we'll say, dumb, is grooming them to be their partner because they're easy and impressionable. Or anyone who likes the person they're with is an impressionable and easy target. Like, it's just a silly thing. Anyway, he later admits that teaching isn't for him because he fell in love with a student and implies it could happen again, making him a deeply flawed character. Do you know what like sarcasm is or what jokes are, or the fact that he said teaching isn't for him because his dad was a teacher and he's just like, yeah, it's not for me. Besides, I fell in love with a student. You know, he's flirting. He's not. It's whatever. Oh, now I'm burping. I have to end the stream because I burped. Uh-oh. When Kyoko's parents decide to fully disinherit her after getting beaten up and hospitalized by her former gang, Katsuya magically appears. That was magical. Like, how did he just pop over there? We a text of like, hey, let's meet up at 10, and then like maybe a glance over to the clock showing that it's like 5 past 10 or something, or 10 past 10, so that we know that like she's late to meet him or something. But yeah, there was kind of a weird scene where he's just like, hey, I'll take her. It was a very strange scene personally. Katsuya magically appears to yell, why would he, the heck are you guys? Hour-long video to put this into perspective. He gets 2 strong examples out of his 20 plus. Okay. Gay as happy, gay as parade. That is one thing that I find interesting. When did the term gay turn into a sexual thing? Gotta go, guys. All right, E-Class, for you tomorrow I will go over my end of seasons again so that you can have a rerun on those. This dude, oh yeah, like when did that change occur? I don't actually know, but it seems strange because, I mean, it literally means happy. Why do they get to be happy? Like, why is that the term they get? You should make their own term. I saw someone call a girl homophobic for saying pride is one of the 7 deadly sins. And you look at them back and say, have you never seen Full Metal Alchemist? Have you never seen the 7 deadly sins? It's on Netflix. You have Netflix. Watch Netflix. What are you, stupid? You stupid? Oh, that's great. While this dramatic confession is meant to be exciting and romantic, it's impossible to overlook a grown man claiming an underage girl as his own. Underage and where? Underage where? Literally, we're talking, like, didn't this happen, like, years after? As his own without consulting her or getting her... You know how you get her permission? The couple minutes later when he says, well, I wanted it to be more romantic, but if you'll have me. And she says yes, but also like, hey, you can't have a joke about it. Like, literally getting her permission is asking her. She's literally fighting with her parents. You just have to make that whole scene go over smoothly as best you can. Like, hey, let her go. I'll take care of her. It's crazy. You wouldn't recommend 7 deadly sins to people? You know, I wouldn't. But you still, maybe they need to learn and they won't read Dante's Inferno. 7 deadly frames. my giant chest, my tiny arms, like. Oh, I looked like crippled Jesus there. I think people were actually using gay as an insult to the LGBT community, and they adopted it. That makes more sense, I guess. But why would you insult someone by saying they're happy? It just, whatever the actual reason for it, it doesn't make sense. And why do they get to be happy? Why is their term literally synonymous with happiness? Meanwhile, all I have is heterosexual or straight. Cool. Straight-laced. Those are the boring people in school. Romance is dead. Spontaneous love is a burning. So the problem isn't necessarily that spontaneous love is burning. It's just that people are interpreting things in very weird ways. Because for the most part, spontaneous love still exists. Like, the vast majority of people are fine, normal, functioning members of society who don't encounter issues where they're analyzing, like, you didn't ask me 2 seconds into this if it was okay. Most people are not that. The permission is literally when you ask them to marry you literal minutes later. And then they can say yes or no. Koiwa explosion. Oh, it's goodness. It's just funny. It's funny. I like laughing at it. Kyoko cries and follows Katsuya with her packed bags as she kicked out of her parents' house before questioning why he'd want to marry her and whether he just feels sorry for her. She ultimately agrees to marry him and he takes her in, but this leaves viewers wondering if Katsuya took full advantage of her vulnerable position and having nowhere else to go, and whether she only agreed to marry him because she believed he was her only option. Here's the interesting article, right? Here's the interesting article. If you think Katsuya is wrong, if you think Katsuya is the bad guy who is grooming her, what is her other option? She's in Japan, place that hates homeless people. She's in a place that doesn't have very good safety nets to catch people when they get kicked out of their house. she will go to living on the streets until she gets swept up into a psych ward. Would you rather that? Let's say, for the sake of argument, that Katsuya is the big bad guy who is trying to do big bad things. Which one's worse? Guy's gonna feed you? You like him? Even if it's a fake feeling that he created, you still like him? Or the alternative of homelessness in an area that hates the homeless? Really, I mean, that would be, I want to see, like, what's your argument? What is her other option? What should she do instead? Right? How can you really this? Why couldn't they keep it at psychological analysis instead of all these crazy accusations? Yeah. My nieces are discovering themselves in all of this. Makes me sad is all. Yeah. I have a feeling that they've got a good uncle to be a solid point for him, because that's all people need. Kids are boats in a harbor, and as long as there's a strong enough breach, they'll be fine. They soon get married while admitting that everyone is incredibly against the marriage, and for good reason. Besides Katsuya's father, so the patriarch of the family's okay with it. Like, for real, what is he doing? Is he abusing her? What is the dude complaining about it? Dude met her when she was young and liked her enough to ask her out. Everyone is against the marriage because they suck, not because they're worried for Kyoko's well-being. Yeah, nobody wants Kyoko. They don't. Nobody wants her. Not a single person. So I ask again, if he is a big bad, which one's worse? You know, and I want that conversation. If there's somebody in this chat knows that believes what this article says, I want to talk to him. I'm curious, because the article puts out like their opinions and stuff, but like we don't really get to see like the back and forth. Like if I ask, well, what else? What's her other option? Well, the family disagrees with it. Yeah, but the family also hates her. There is no family to go to if she leaves him. I mean, look at the fact that when her husband dies, her parents call her to say, don't come here with the kid. What? Crazy. Definitely not asking the guys about Fruits Basket. They'll be like, tweets blocked. You are unable to interact with this tweet. those are my favorite ones, when you see a tweet and you're like, you are unable to interact with this tweet. Oh my goodness. He teased her about her eyebrows and inspired her to come to school and started grooming. Yeah, exactly. Fruits Basket was top on mouth, talk speed, but anyway, for a while, why not ask the guys? Because Michael DeLucia III only talks with his guys about Monster Girls, and if he asks them about a Monster Boys show, arguably it's Monster Boys, then he will lose some stake of his masculinity. More positive interactions than what Ezra Miller did. Yes, that is undoubtedly true. Undoubtedly true. I had never saw Katsuya injure anyone, honestly. Grooming. Oh, where's Mexican Iron Man when you need him to lay down the rolling R's? Despite the questionable subject matter and controversy surrounding Fruits Basket Prelude, some fans enjoyed watching two flawed and complex characters come together to build a better life than the one they had known. While Kyoko and Katsuya's relationship can seem deeply unsettling, the film provides important background and context surrounding the Fruits Basket story outside its supernatural powers, featuring the emotional and messy love story that Natsuki Takiya wanted to tell. Bro, I don't want bot rated again. I said grooming. Send in the bots. Oh, one of the guys unironically likes Mushoku Tensei. So you don't bring up shows with kids in it. I'm joking about the kids thing. Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Oh, how silly. How fun. Wow. This is a new record. New record for the Blaine's Escape Corner show. 2 hours, 46 minutes. 45 minutes, it looks like. Wow. Thank you, chat. We have had a blast tonight. We went everywhere. What are you talking about? Bastard looks amazing. I can't wait for Bastard to come out on Netflix so I can watch it. We talking about Japan. Prelude was also a messy and emotional love story. And you're all mods. Yay! We fought back against the bot menace tonight. That's insane. All we wanted to do was look at some California laws, and next thing you know, we got a bunch of .xyz. Who made the .xyz even a thing? Like, there's too many of those .com endings nowadays. Too many of them. Anyway, that was Incredible Powers Unlocked this season. They fought hard against the bots that night, but their troubles were only just beginning. Find out next time on Blaine's Escape Corner. Oh my goodness. All right, everybody. You know where I am on Twitter if you want to follow me there. I also have the new blainesescapecorner.locals.com. It is a 100% free community right now because I am just using it as a place to post notifications and some more like slightly just me everyday stuff, like a pile of logs that I split the other day because I need wood for smoking the meats for the 4th of July, as well as my workout room because I want to start. I'm posting my weight. I'm on a cut, and I need to make sure that I'm staying responsible for this cut. I'm at 176.2 right now. I'm cutting down to 160. Once we hit 160, we'll bulk back up to 169 because that's nice. And I'll be posting stuff like that in that community just to keep me honest, keep me on track. I don't see any reason for it to be paid for at this point. It's just a place for me to notify things and post things. Thanks everybody for hanging out, and I look forward to tomorrow where we will talk about all of the anime that has ended this season and go over our thoughts there as we get ready for summer 2022 just around the corner. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Kanpai.